What is up, Axie fam? You guys read the title of the video, so let's get going to it. Alright guys, so the reason I'm making this video is that I am still very bullish on Axie, and I want to explain myself because when I look at some of the comments, when I look at like the overall feeling of Axie, I do see a lot of negativity, and I understand that totally. And also, before I even start, I think it's very important, especially if you never saw my videos in the past, to be clear here. Out of pretty much all of the YouTubers that are still bullish on Axie right now, I am pretty sure I am the most critical one of Sky Mavis. When the bone sale thingy happened, where they just changed a card, a month after the patch came out, I was very pissed. I made a video. I didn't really restrain myself at all. I went all out on Sky Mavis, and you can still find the video in my channel if you want to. And I mean, what they did is they did improve on that. All right, I'll give that to Sky Mavis. I think even though a lot of their devs are, to lack of a better word, kinda out of touch, I still feel like when it comes to delivering, they can be late. They usually are late, but they do deliver, and I do think that they have that they like this game, even though that they could maybe transpass a better feeling to everyone around what they're doing. But I didn't even start. So yes, I've been very critical, and a lot of people right now could watch this video and say, oh, look at this guy shilling Axie, being paid for it. I wish I was being paid, but I'm not. And a lot of people like to point out to the stats, right? Look at the SOP price, look at AXS. Everything is dying. I mean, have you looked at crypto prices in the last 2 months? Like, literally everything is dying, and I think that is one of the biggest challenges of NFT gaming. Can they actually make this sustainable whilst we are still pretty far away from a world where crypto is more stable? Being more stable comes alongside more adoption, right? Because with more people having a stake in that, you need bigger moves to either increase or decrease the price. But I still feel like we're decades away from that actually being a thing, so we do need to get used to that. But also, the price decreases of Axie are not inherently, it is not only the crypto market itself that made all of that drop, but at the same time, point me to games that are looking amazing right now, because I do know a decent amount of NFT games. Lots of them are not even games. They are weird pyramid schemes. Because I guess the interesting part about Axie is that right from the beginning they understood that the format, the way they were set up inherently was a pyramid scheme right at the beginning, right? And they took lots of action to get out of that. Right now we have Ron, now we have Staken, now we have tons of ways to make sure that people coming in are not only coming in with the intent of making a shitload of money. And I have to be honest here, because this is probably the biggest mistake Sky Mavis ever did in all of its life. They started with this narrative of, we are saving poor people all around the world. People are living off of their axies, and I mean, I'm not gonna actually put my hand on fire here and say that they posted that in the official Axie channel, but I definitely saw some of the devs posting things that, kind of related towards that narrative. And at the end of the day, that created expectations that are impossible to maintain. There is no way a normal person playing a card game is going to pay itself a salary to only live off of a game. I mean, if that ever happens, that would be really cool. But I think we are very far away from that, and we are not right now in a position where this could be sustainable. And so when you come with a narrative like that, suddenly you're going to upset a lot of people, you're going to disappoint a lot of people, and that's exactly what happened. So a lot of people, they want to point out to the SLP and AXS price as a see, I was making whatever amount of money at that point, and if I cannot get that again, Axie sucks and I will find the next fad. And I mean, sure, you might find it, but I think what they realized is that, one, that narrative was, I mean, maybe and I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe that was still good for them in the long run because they did get a lot of people, and even though they disappoint a couple of people, they don't care. But I do feel like the narrative is gone, partly because it's not true anymore. You can't really like live like a king in South America or Southeast Asia being a scholar anymore. But at the same time, everyone, I think, needs to adjust their expectations. Like, unless you want to just join a pyramid scheme very early and profit off of it and then move to the next one, and then this is your expectation with a game like Axie, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna have a good time right now or in the near future. But I think what they want to promote is a game where it's still better than 99% of other games in the sense of you actually being able to reap benefits from whatever it is that you're doing. Not just playing like a scholar, but adding value to the marketplace, right? Whether that is, flipping axies or breeding or coaching or playing into the arena and then reaping benefits from being really good at the game and at the same time buying, good axies. I think this is the direction we are moving towards. You can still make money out of it. Obviously, you do need money at the start, and I know that is very frustrating for a lot of people, but that's capitalism, and that's sad, but that's how the world works. The reason I guess I'm bullish is that I think when we get out of the old narrative, everything seems more realistic, in my opinion. Like, sure, lots of, like, you can say that a lot of scholars are, feel sad and feel demotivated. At the end of the day, a lot of the Axie growth comes from scholars, and I think this is fair criticism. But they are actually doing things in a direction that I feel like we will see better growth. And how, you might ask? Well, I think the first thing I want to point out to is the Axie Infinity Builders program. So we need to remember that Ronin is still the biggest gaming blockchain that is, and at the same time, because everything is already set up, right? You have tokens that work, you have a lot of people that know what Axie is and already have like wallets and know how to use Katana. They want to make sure that if Axie is not the biggest NFT game ever, that maybe the biggest NFT game ever is into, like, within Ronin itself. And that's why they have this Axie Infinity Builders program. So at the end of the day, what they want to do is actually give the resources for people with good ideas to make games. And here's the thing. If they grant like 100 people whatever amount of money they're gonna give, and 3 or 4 out of these games actually get big enough, this is really good, not only for Sky Mavis that will profit out of that, but it is really big for us because everything in those games will use SOP and AXS and the Ronin network itself, which is one of the big problems. We were talking about scholars feeling unmotivated, and well, that comes directly from the fact that the SOP prices are not as big as they used to be. When we look at the cycles of Axie, right, it is very season focused. Like, you have beginning of season, hype, end of season, people selling out, kind of afraid, you don't really want to lose the value out of your Axie, so you sell everything, and until there's a new update, everything is kind of dead, and basically scholars make much less money in that time period. But if you had more games where SOP and AXS could be burnt and used, suddenly you get into this position where SOP and AXS could be more stable, and I think in the long run this is very bullish, at least for me. Also, since we're talking about scholars being this like machine that makes Axies, I guess Axie Infinity work, you have to remember that they just started the ability for you to burn your own Axies, right? So if you go to Lunacy Express here, you can actually, get some rewards for releasing your Axies, and that is something that was, for a long time being asked. It finally arrived. It's finally here, and sure, it took a long time, but as I talked in the beginning, like, even though there are a lot of fair criticism to be made about Sky Mavis, everything that they promised did end up coming true. Sometimes not in the way that we thought it was going to happen, sometimes not as fast as we would like it to happen. But can you point out to another NFT game that right now is actually like looking amazing, but also has like at least the same amount or close to the same amount of players, track record as Sky Mavis? I don't think that exists. And you know, I am not here shilling this by any means. I'm trying to be as real as possible. Sure, there are games that might be released that look very promising, but until they get released, until they survive enough of a cycle for me to be like, all right, this is gonna be the new shit, I think this is the best that we have. And I still feel like, you know, when we look at esports or games in general, sure, there might be one game that for a long time is the like king, but it is a big space. And I think even if Axie is not the biggest NFT game in 2 years, I still feel like it will be around, and it will be well managed. So yeah, the second thing I want to talk, I mean, maybe fourth thing, I don't even know anymore, is actually this Esports Grant. So you know, we were talking about, you know, Point, another game that has a good track record and looks brighter than Axie right now. You know, which one is even esports ready? You can look at the 7.5k XS and say, I mean, yeah, this is not a lot of money, they are being cheap and whatever, but like, this is really the first time where we might see Axie as esports looking, you know, big, looking solid. Okay, sure, there were a lot of tournaments so far, but none of them really got a lot of viewers watching. And I think part of that is that no big TOs were a part of any big tournaments, and because of that, obviously there's going to be less eyes, right? When you look at even the Twitch channels that play Axie, they don't have that many followers. So until Axie goes more mainstream, either by a big TO actually picking up an Axie tournament, or you know, by people just joining even more than they already had, they need to like create this I guess this like capillarity for them to be esports ready. And I mean, they're doing it. Sure, it might not be as much as you would like, but I think it is definitely a step towards the right direction. And I mean, why would they spend a load of money right now when really what we know Sky Mavis wants to do is hype up version 3.0? So they don't want to like draw attention to a game that is like about to completely change and probably look much better, right? This is just a way for them to start, you know, creating all of those contacts, making sure that tournament organizers know about Axie being a company that wants to foster its esports segment, while at the same time not drawing too much attention, where like a lot of people go and watch it and it's like, I mean, sure, there's a couple of like Pokemons fighting, right? I mean, we did see enough of the spoilers of version 3.0 to really agree that it looks much better, right? So you don't want to put like $1 million right now and shoot yourself in the foot, basically, because let's be honest, I don't think these tournaments are gonna be awesome, but they will like start creating enough casters, enough people, so that once a big tournament is needed, you will have at least like a foundation for everything to happen smoothly. So yeah, I mean, I've been talking a lot, and I think there's still like many more points to be talked about, but at the end of the day, this is how I feel. I think that there is criticism to be like drawn and talked about, and I think I did that, honestly. But I think there's still bright days ahead. I really like this game. I think it's cute, it's fun. We are, you know, slowly getting into a better spot, and if they keep at least delivering the way they did, I do feel like, you know, brighter days will be ahead. Maybe, you know, a year from now, because let's be honest, the way the crypto market looks right now, I think we might have like a year of a bear market. Who knows? I will still be around. I love breeding. I love being a part of this community, and I love you guys. But until we see like a huge boost again, it might take a while. So if you do just want to make free money by joining a you know, whatever crypto scheme that, you know, shows up, maybe Axie is not for you, but I do feel like in the long run, this could be a huge esports market, and I just want to make sure I know what it is before it's too late, because it's still pretty early when you look at everything. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. By the way, this video and my channel is not sponsored by anything but my Axie Infinity bot, and it is not those bots that auto buy Axies. All right, it's not scammy at all. It basically allows you to find the best Axies to breed. So here I was looking for the Lamb, Cuckoo, Blue Moon, Koi Axie, pretty popular nowadays, and it shows you the average price. In the last 21 days, it shows you the average price of a zero breed, how many Axies were sold, the purity breakdown, right? Whether it is super pure and how much it costs based on the purity. And it's really fun. It's also very cheap because it's Ethereum based, and with the bear market going on right now, there's definitely an incentive, I think, for anyone interested to join. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.